Far at the bottom of the world, beyond the storm belts of the Southern Ocean, lies a continent so isolated and unforgiving that for centuries it seemed almost outside of history itself. Antarctica, a land of endless ice, violent winds, and darkness that can last for months. Modern maps show research stations and carefully plotted coastlines, but for most of human history, the southern continent existed only as rumor, speculation, and myth. Ancient scholars believed there had to be a vast land in the south to balance the continents of the north. They called it Terra Australis Incognita, the unknown southern land. Yet some historians and mystery researchers believe Antarctica may have held a very different meaning to certain secretive groups in the past. According to a controversial theory, whispered in obscure archives and secret society lore, Antarctica may have once been the hiding place of a truth so powerful that it had to be sealed away from the world. And the guardians of that truth, some believe, were none other than the Knights Templar. The story begins not in the frozen south, but in medieval Europe, during one of the most turbulent periods in religious history. In the year 1119, a small group of knights arrived in Jerusalem shortly after the First Crusade had secured the city for Christian rule. These men were led by a French nobleman named Hugh de Payens. They formed a brotherhood that would soon become one of the most powerful and mysterious organizations of the Middle Ages, the Knights Templar. Officially, their purpose was simple. They were warrior monks tasked with protecting Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. But from the beginning, there were strange details surrounding the order. The knights took vows of poverty, yet within a century they had become immensely wealthy. They possessed land across Europe, controlled trade routes, and developed a financial network that resembled an early form of international banking. Even more curious was where they chose to establish their headquarters in Jerusalem. The Templars were granted quarters on the Temple Mount, the ancient site believed to have once held the Temple of Solomon. The ruins of this sacred structure had long been associated with deep religious symbolism, hidden relics, and lost scriptures. For nearly a decade after their arrival, the Templars conducted excavations beneath the Temple Mount. Official records from that time are vague, but several chroniclers mention tunnels being dug and chambers being explored. What exactly the knights were searching for remains one of history's most intriguing mysteries. Some researchers believe they may have uncovered ancient Jewish relics connected to the Ark of the Covenant. Others speculate that they found lost scrolls containing alternative versions of early Christian teachings. But there is another theory, one far more controversial. According to this idea, the Templars discovered evidence suggesting that the story of Christianity, as told by the medieval church, had been altered or manipulated over time. These hidden texts, some believe, revealed a bloodline connected to Jesus himself, a lineage that survived in secret long after the crucifixion. If such documents existed, they would have been explosive. The authority of the church rested on its control over religious doctrine. Proof of a hidden bloodline or suppressed teachings could have shaken the foundations of medieval Europe. Whether the Templars truly found such evidence is impossible to prove. What is certain is that after their time in Jerusalem, the order began to grow rapidly in influence. They established fortified commanderies across Europe and developed connections with powerful monarchs. But their rise to power did not go unnoticed. By the early 14th century, the Knights Templar had become deeply entangled in the politics of Europe. Kings borrowed money from them. Nobles entrusted them with treasure. Their network stretched from Scotland to the Mediterranean. Then suddenly, in 1307, everything changed. On Friday, October 13th, King Philip IV of France ordered the mass arrest of the Templars within his kingdom. The charges against them were shocking: heresy, blasphemy, idol worship, and secret rituals that supposedly denied Christ. Under torture, some Templars confessed to strange accusations, including the worship of a mysterious head called Baphomet and the possession of forbidden knowledge. Historians today widely agree that many of these confessions were likely forced. King Philip owed the order enormous debts and had strong motivation to destroy them. But there was something else that troubled the king and the church authorities. When royal officials moved to seize the Templars' assets, they discovered that a large portion of the order's treasure had vanished. Ships belonging to the Templars had already left European ports. Documents had disappeared. Entire commanderies had been quietly abandoned. It was as if the Order had anticipated the crackdown and prepared a secret escape plan. Over the centuries, many theories have emerged about where the Templar fleet may have gone. Some believe they sailed to Scotland, where they supposedly aided Robert the Bruce in his struggle against England. Others claim they crossed the Atlantic centuries before Columbus and established hidden settlements in the Americas. But a far stranger theory suggests the Templars may have sailed south, far south, toward the edge of the known world. During the Middle Ages, European maps often depicted a massive southern continent that had never been explored. Some navigators believed it lay beyond the treacherous waters near the tip of Africa and South America. A few medieval maps, such as the famous Piri-Reis map created in 1513, appear to show land masses that some researchers claim resemble the coastline of Antarctica. The map itself was based on earlier sources, including ancient charts that the Ottoman admiral Piri-Reis said came from older civilizations. Most historians dismiss the Antarctica interpretation as coincidence or misidentification of South American coastlines. Yet for those who believe in the Templar Antarctica theory, maps like these suggest that someone may have possessed knowledge of the southern continent long before its official discovery in the 19th century. If the Templars had access to ancient navigation charts, possibly obtained during their time in the Middle East, they may have known about lands beyond the reach of medieval Europe. And as they were seeking a place to hide something that could threaten the established religious order, Antarctica would have been the perfect location. Remote, frozen, and nearly impossible to reach with the technology of the time, the southern continent could have served as the ultimate vault for a forbidden truth. Supporters of this theory often point to the strange connections between Templar symbolism and later secret societies. After the Order's destruction, elements of Templar tradition appear to resurface in organizations such as the Freemasons. Certain Masonic rituals reference lost knowledge, hidden temples, and secret guardians of ancient wisdom. Some historians argue that these traditions may preserve fragments of the Templars' original mission. Within these traditions, there are occasional references to a hidden sanctuary located at the ends of the earth, a place where sacred knowledge was protected from corruption. While mainstream historians remain skeptical, the idea of Antarctica as a repository of lost knowledge continues to capture the imagination. Interestingly, Antarctica itself holds mysteries that extend beyond medieval legends. Beneath its ice sheets lie mountain ranges, lakes, and possibly even ancient landscapes that have been frozen for millions of years. Radar imaging has revealed vast subglacial lakes, such as Lake Vostok, buried beneath kilometers of ice. Some scientists believe that these hidden lakes may contain ecosystems that have been isolated since long before humans evolved. There are also strange satellite images showing unusual geometric shapes beneath the ice in certain regions. Most scientists explain these as natural rock formations or distortions in imaging data. But conspiracy researchers see them as potential evidence of buried structures. In the mid-20th century, Antarctica briefly became the center of another mysterious episode. After World War II, several countries launched expeditions to the southern continent. One of the largest was Operation High Jump, conducted by the United States Navy in 1946. Officially, the mission was intended to test military equipment in extreme cold and establish research bases. But the scale of the operation was enormous. Thousands of personnel, aircraft carriers, submarines, and aircraft were involved. The mission ended abruptly after only a few months, fueling speculation that something unexpected had occurred. Some conspiracy theories claim that explorers encountered ancient ruins or evidence of advanced technology hidden beneath the ice. Others link Antarctica to secret Nazi bases supposedly established during the war. There is no credible historical evidence supporting these more extreme claims. However, the secrecy surrounding early Antarctic exploration has helped keep the continent surrounded by mystery. Today, Antarctica is governed by the Antarctic Treaty, an international agreement signed in 1959 that designates the continent for peaceful scientific research. Military activity and resource exploitation are prohibited. The treaty has helped preserve Antarctica as one of the last untouched regions of Earth. Yet the idea of hidden history beneath its ice continues to fascinate people around the world. For believers in the Templar Antarctica theory, the continent represents more than just a frozen wilderness. It is seen as the final resting place of a secret that could reshape humanity's understanding of religion and history. According to this interpretation, the Templars did not simply vanish after their suppression in 1307. Instead, a small group of trusted knights escaped with their most precious cargo, ancient documents or relics that reveal the hidden truth about the origins of Christianity. These guardians allegedly carried their secret across the oceans, guided by knowledge preserved from ancient civilizations. Their destination, some believe, was a remote sanctuary far beyond the reach of kings and popes, Antarctica. There, in hidden caves or buried chambers beneath the ice, the Templars are said to have established a final refuge, a place where the forbidden truth could remain safe until humanity was ready to confront it. In this story, the Templars were not merely warriors or bankers. They were custodians of a sacred mystery, protectors of a knowledge that challenged the official narrative of religious history. Whether such a secret truly exists remains unknown. Historians rely on evidence, documents, and verifiable records, and none conclusively prove that the Knights Templar ever reached Antarctica. The theory rests largely on speculation, symbolism, and scattered hints in historical texts. But history is full of surprises. Entire civilizations have been rediscovered after centuries of being forgotten. Lost cities have emerged from jungles and deserts. Ancient manuscripts have surfaced in hidden caves, revealing new chapters of human history. Antarctica itself remains one of the least explored places on Earth. Much of the continent is still hidden beneath ice that can be several kilometers thick. If secrets from the past were buried there, they could remain concealed for generations. For now, the frozen continent keeps its silence. The winds sweep across endless fields of ice. Glaciers slowly move toward the sea. Beneath the frozen surface, ancient landscapes remain locked in darkness. Somewhere in that vast wilderness, perhaps nothing exists except rock and ice. Or perhaps, as the legends suggest, the last guardians of a forbidden truth once stood watch there, ensuring that a secret older than empires would never be lost. And if that secret still waits beneath Antarctica's ice, untouched and undiscovered, it would be one of the greatest mysteries in human history, a mystery linking medieval knights, ancient scriptures, and the most remote place on Earth. Until new evidence emerges, the story remains what it has always been, a legend suspended between history and imagination, a possibility buried beneath the coldest continent on the planet, and a reminder that even in the modern world, there are still corners of our past that remain hidden in the shadows of time.